Hey there, so welcome back to my channel, The Procrastinator. Today I wanted to follow up on those coasters I started the other day. I started with some ceramic coasters, and if you remember in part one, what we did was we prepared our surface. So they're all nice and dry. I am a day late doing this. We had some things going on yesterday, so I didn't make it back to do another video. But these are the coasters that we did. I've got 4 of them. So what you're gonna need today is your coasters that are all prepped, which these are Mod Podged. I just used a regular Mod Podge. Okay, it's the undercoat, so I don't care which one I use, the cheapest one, which is the matte. Your coasters, a napkin, some type of mini press or iron. I prefer the mini press, so I have the Cricut mini press, and as I've mentioned a few times, I lost it. And then some parchment paper and some type of pad. This is actually a Cricut heat pad. Some type of pad to put your product on, because you don't want, obviously, to burn your table and start a fire or anything like that. So that's what you're gonna need. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna prep first. I turned on my little mini heat press. This is from Temu. I just got it. I'm not really sure how it works. I turned it on before I started because I wanted it to get hot. It feels pretty hot there. I put it around in the middle. Right now it says 325, because with the Cricut, I believe it had light, warm, and medium, and then hot. So this one I put on the middle because I usually use a medium to hot when I do these. Up, and there it is. It's preheated to the 330. So it does preheat kind of like an iron, but it does tell you like an oven when it's done. So I set it to 330, and that's where it's preheated. So I'm gonna take my napkin, and first things first, you need to take apart your napkins. I didn't look to see. It doesn't tell me if these are 2-ply or 3-ply. So let's see if we can get this apart. I didn't want to do this before we started because honestly, I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm just going to get that corner started, and then I'm going to take apart my napkin, just like that. This is only a 2-ply. I can tell because I can see the design on the lower level already. So this is only a 2-ply, which is great because that's one less thing to fight with. You're just going to pull apart your napkin, okay, just like that. I do put this to the side, the spare piece, because I'll use it to help clean up my paint brushes or whatever. Then what's the point of wasting a piece of a napkin? You can use it on the side. Just gonna double check, but I'm pretty sure these are just the 2-ply, and they are. I just wanted to make sure. And then what I'm gonna do here is it's the same design. Is it the same design on all 4? It's the same design on all 4. The pineapple ends in the same place on all 4 napkins. I'm gonna cut this in 4. I figured since it's summertime, we'll make a summer-themed napkin coaster. So I grabbed a summer-themed napkin. I thought they were really pretty when I grabbed them. I know I got these from the Dollar Tree, so they're $1.25. I might have bought them last year. I don't really know. So they may have only been $1 at that time. Not 100% sure. So I'm gonna cut those up. I just cut that one for now because I'm gonna do one to start. And then I'm gonna put my coaster down here. I'm making sure there's nothing on it, no fuzzes, no anything like that, okay? I'm gonna put that right on there. And then what I'm gonna do is find where do I want my pattern to line up. So that's all up to you. Do I want more pineapple and watermelons on this one? Do I want, more lemons and limes and watermelon? It's all up to you. This one I'm gonna actually do, I'm gonna move it down a little bit, and I'm gonna try to get as much of the pineapple, lemons, and watermelon like that. I'm gonna do that because I'm probably gonna do them a little different for each one. You need to make sure that it's covering your edges. You want a little bit overlapped on your edge. I don't know if you can see that. There's just a little overlap. There's the edge of my coaster. I want it to just overlap just a little bit, okay? So once you've got it lined up to where you want it, I'm not looking for perfection. I am gonna stand up to do this so I can see a little bit better. They're man-made, they're homemade, and I do have OCD, but I've learned that perfection isn't everything, okay? So it doesn't have to be lined up perfectly because these are coasters and they're not supposed to be lined up perfectly. It's just a design. So I've got that where I want it. I can smell how hot that is, so we'll see how this works because again, it's brand new. I just got that from Temu. I gotta push it up just a little bit because I want an overhang because I'm gonna sand these off and I want an overhang so I don't mess up my design, okay? You can do it right up to the edge, but I don't really like that. Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. So I've also already cut myself some parchment paper. This was Dollar Tree. It actually ripped really nicely and it's worked great for me. This is a little bigger than I need, okay? You're gonna use your parchment paper, put it right on top like that, okay? And then you're gonna take your mini heat press And it's already heated, like I said. So now we're gonna go in and we're gonna use it. And we're gonna I start in the middle so that I get this adhered where I want it first, and then I work my way out for the wrinkles. So it's on there, and I'm gonna work my way out. Okay, that way it's even in the middle and I don't have any bubbles. You can start it wherever you want, but I think that that's the best way to do it, is to start in the middle. Okay, I'm just putting my first adhesion on. So what happens is that Mod Podge is reheating underneath this little iron, okay? So that's on. Just gonna show you something. It's very hot because these are ceramic. They're extremely hot, so please be careful. Extremely hot. So I'm gonna do a little more. What I wanna do is I'm gonna hold on to my parchment paper and I'm gonna go to the edge. Can you see how I'm doing that? I'm going to the edge of my coaster, and the reason is I want that to adhere to the edges. If you recall my last video, I said you want to make sure that you get your glue on the edges of your coaster, your ceramic coaster, tile, whatever you want to call it. We're making coasters, so I'm going to refer them probably more to coasters than tiles. But you want to get that on there. So I'm going around the edge of this because I really want this to adhere to the edges. You do not want any lift. You are going to seal them. So, I mean, if there's a little lift, a lot of times you can put it back down with the glue. It's not that big of a deal. I may overdo it. I don't know. I like to go over this a lot. Like I said, I have this up to 330. I don't know if that's where I need it or not. And I am going along the edges. So I'm literally creasing the napkin as I go because I want it around the edges. I did not grab heat gloves, and I probably should have, because this coaster is going to be super hot to the touch. So even on the bottom, depending upon how long you keep your heat on it, it does generate all the way through to the bottom of your coaster, of your thing. So what I'm really curious on is I did not want any, as I mentioned in my last video, I did some coasters with a mini iron, and I was not impressed. The heat was not hot enough. It did not take the wrinkles out of the napkin fully. They kind of popped back up. So let's see how this looks. That is really hot. Even your parchment paper is hot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lift up. Hopefully you can see this okay. I'm gonna lift up on the edges and see if there's any lift, and that's actually adhered really well. I think I did pretty good at getting that on. My corners, I want my little points, and this one has a little bit of a lift. I'm gonna go back and do this corner. This one's done really well. That one's done really well. They're all done really well except for that one. So let's go back and do that just a little bit more on that corner, because I must not have went down on it enough. Hopefully I got enough Mod Podge on it. Again, we can be really careful when we're done with this so that we don't pull it up. So I have my sliding tray here, and that should be good. It's hot though, so you don't want to yank either. See how I'm just lightly lifting a little bit, okay? It's actually nice and smooth. That was really hot. So I'm quite impressed. It's looking pretty smooth, nice and neat. So now I'm gonna put this to the side to cool off because it's super hot, like I mentioned. I've got a tray there. Let's grab our second one. So I'm gonna let that cool before we go to the next step, because if you don't, you're gonna pull apart your design. So the last one, if you recall, we lined up right around here. I think I'm gonna change it up a little bit because I don't know if we want completely matching coasters, or do we wanna change it up a little bit so we have, you know, randomness. And I think this one I'm gonna go with a little randomness. So this one I'm gonna go and line this up just a little bit. I'm gonna move where my, I don't normally do this, so usually I try to line everything up perfect, but I think I'm gonna go for a little random. And we're gonna go for right around there, I think. I still want my pineapple there on this one. I've got just a teeny bit on the edge here, so I'm gonna have to be really careful because I don't want, I might pull it over just a hair. That's not too bad. So let's do that. Let's put back down our parchment paper. I wanna make sure I keep it where I want it, so I'm kind of holding on to it as I go. Then I'm gonna take my heat press, and watch your hands, and I'm gonna go right in the middle. That way it's adhering and reactivating that glue underneath, and I'm not, I didn't lose where my napkin is. Now my napkin's not gonna move around on me. If I try to pull that up, it's there for the most part. So it obviously needs some more heat, but it's there, so it's not gonna move around on me. So I can let go of my parchment paper and continue on. So I do like to, I probably might have went over the other one too fast, we'll see. I do like to let it sit for a second in each section so that it's really, the glue really heats up underneath. You know, not too long, just a second or two, maybe even 3, depends on how you're feeling. You know, you're gonna watch your project and make sure it's good. That's up to you to see how you want to adhere it. So now we're going to go to the edges again. You want it to adhere as good as it can. So I'm going to go to my edges, and this is where I needed to be careful because I had a teeny overlap, not much at all. So I needed to make sure it stayed where it was supposed to be, or else I would have had a blank piece on my coaster. I would have had ceramic coming through. I may not even have to sand this piece, that corner, because I didn't leave much there. We'll find out when we go to do that. So we're just going over our edges, like I said, our creases. Go over your creases like that. Do your tops, bottoms, all around. I'm just going to do that. I'm going to go all the way around. Get all those creases, get the corners, like we saw the last one. I didn't have my corner done well, so we're going to do that again. I want to make sure it's on there really well on my corner. And it's up to you. I don't try to do this too much when you first start because it will mess up your napkin. So you don't want to do that too much when you first start. So just keep going around. All right, let's see how we did. This is number 2. So let's see. That's adhered really well. That's adhered really well. Yeah, it looks like they did really well with this. So, and I mentioned when you Mod Podge your, sorry about that, when you Mod Podge your tiles beforehand, it's really important. I don't know why this is telling me it's gonna, I don't want it to shut off. There it is. It was gonna shut off. It has a 10-minute warning if you don't use it. I let my first one, I took a blow dryer and I blowed in between my first layer of Mod Podge, but the second one I actually let dry overnight, and there's a reason for that. I really wanted it to adhere. So here's something, I made a boo-boo on the bottom here. It's really hot, see that? Can you see that? I pushed too hard. My tile is coming through. So that means I pushed too hard in that corner with this. Okay, so you need to be careful. It may not be too bad. I might just take a little piece of green after we take this off. Just put a little piece of green right there and re-Mod Podge it back on. That's not going to be that bad because it's a teeny corner. You do not want to push too hard, and that is why. Okay, so we have plenty of napkins, so I can just cut a little piece from this one if I want to, and just, you know, attach it right there. It's the green part, so it's not like it's part of the intricate design like with the pineapple, so that shouldn't be too bad. But so that's why you want to be really careful, okay, when you're doing this. Even though I have protection going on here, they still did that. Let's see if our first one's really hot or not. It's still pretty hot. But I can hold this one a little bit easier. We did not have that problem on this one. I definitely pushed too hard in that corner. So let's see. I'm going to do another one. I need that one to cool off before I can go to the next step with you. I don't want it to be as hot as it is. People do this 2 different ways as well. When we go to the next step, it's up to you if you want to do it after you Mod Podge or before you Mod Podge. I prefer before. And the reason is then I can fix mistakes. Like if something rips like that, etc., you can fix your mistakes. So let's see, how do we want to do this one? We're going to take this tile, we've got another tile, it's nice and clear. I don't think we've gone too long, and let's change this up a little bit. Let's see, we're going to move that pineapple towards the top this time, I think. Yeah, I like that. Top with watermelon. I think that's kind of cool right there. My goal is I'm getting this for my own peace of mind. You do it however you want it. I want this as a whole. So I'm trying not to cut it off on the edge like that would cut off the top of it. So I'm trying to get one whole pineapple on each one. We don't want that watermelon. So we're going to leave it just enough. Again, I'm just moving them all around. I just want to get different styles. It's just a really cool look when you have some different styles going on. So I think my machine is still there. I thought it was going to shut off on me. I did push the power button and it came back on. Luckily, there it is. I'm using the same piece of parchment paper. It's not that big a deal. Straight in the middle. Straight in the middle so I get that piece right in the middle so it does not come off on me. Right? I am putting a lot of pressure down. I don't think you need to put that much pressure down, which is why I took off the corner there on that last one. Okay? I don't think you need that much pressure. A little pressure is okay. I definitely did too much on that one. And I think it's when I sat back down to do this. I normally, I'm standing up to do it during my video, and then I sit back down, and I think I did that corner when I was sitting down. And I think I just put too much pressure when I do that. So that 24 hours makes a huge difference with your Mod Podge. I think it makes it work out really well. And I'm going to do my edges here, and I'm not going to put so much pressure like I did last time. I definitely rubbed that corner too much. I put a lot of pressure and I rubbed it too much. So I'm going to go nice and lightly. When I go back and forth, I'll do light instead of... And I only do that because I really wanted to get on the edging, and I feel like when you do that, you're going to crease it a little bit easier than if you just let it sit. But maybe that's in my head. I don't know. But we're going to go much gentler than I did the last one. So I'm going to go to the corner a little bit. I don't want to rip another one. I could easily take that off and redo it as well, but I don't want to do that. I mean, this is, the coaster came out great except for that little corner, so we'll be able to fix it. It's not that big of a deal. And I think we're going to be adhered pretty well on here. So I'm quite impressed. This is my first time using this mini press. What was it called? A mini heat press, but it had something because it had the changeable temperatures on it. Maybe Smart Press, I don't know. It was something like that, but that's from Temu, and it's my very first time using it, so I'm really impressed. So that's attached really well on all the sides, corners. Great. Beautiful. Let's put that down here and get our last one because I'm doing a set of 4. Wipe that off, my last piece. And where do I want that last pineapple? Let's see, we've got corner, bottom, top. We've got them everywhere. We've got pineapples everywhere. All right, let's do, I don't know, what do I want more of? Is that kind of what I already did? I'm just trying to look at, I did one like that. I did one over here and did more of that. I did one really close. Let's go this way. Let's go this way and this way. You could even do a little angle because that would actually kind of look cute too. That's really haphazardly on there. That actually would have been really cute. I probably should have done that. I want it in a different place than we've already got. So I'm kind of eyeing my other ones. I've got one just like this. And then I've got one down here. And then I've got one in the middle over here. How about, I gotta make sure I have enough napkin though. See, I can't go too low because then I won't have enough napkin. And my goal is to get, I think I'm gonna actually do, no, I don't think I'm gonna do the crooked one. Maybe we'll try for kind of the middle. But that won't give me a whole watermelon, but that might be okay. I was trying to aim for a whole watermelon on each one. I think this one we'll do a mix like that. Yeah, I think definitely. And we'll do a mix like that. That way it doesn't have a hole of anything really, except for the pineapple. Yep, I think that's good. So that's what we're gonna do. And I haven't had to hold this the last one, if you notice, as much because it's kind of forming to the shape of my coaster. So I'm just gonna put it back on there like that, and it's gonna kind of suction down. And then I can go like this and just get in the middle, like I said. Start in your middle and work your way out because that is the way it's going to keep it from going too wrinkly or messing up underneath your parchment paper. And there it is, see? Right on. It is so easy. I'm probably gonna only show you how I prep one of them on the video, the rest of the video. And the reason is because I really like to let them cool off before I actually do the full sanding process because I've discovered I never used to be patient like that. I would like just try to get it done. And I discovered when you're doing it hot, it actually really can rip your napkin so much easier. So if you give yourself a little bit of time in the middle just for your coasters to cool off, it's really not that big a deal. Work on something else if you need to. I'm going to go back downstairs with my husband. It is Saturday. We've got some things to do in the house. We're undecided. He's got a headache. The weather is just kind of the hot and then the rain and then the humanness is just kind of kicking our butts a little bit with our allergies and stuff. So probably gonna go back down and spend a little time with him while they cool off. I'm gonna do one of them and show you, and then I'll come back up and play with them again, and then I'll do another video on how to seal them properly. I'm quite impressed with this. The mini heat press, it is a little warm in the handle. I believe my Cricut one does the same thing though, so it's not that big of a deal. I'm adhered back on. And also when you let it cool, it gives you a chance to double check and make sure that everything is adhered well. You know, I tell you to pick it up a little bit, make sure all your corners are on, go gentle on the edges, like I said. Okay, so everything's on there, it's done. But when you do let it cool off completely, it's gonna let you know if anything's lifting or anything. So, and that's something that's very important. So these are really hot. Using my fingernails to actually balance them. I'm gonna take the first one, pull it back out. It's fairly cool. There's a little warmth underneath, but it's fairly cool. I'm gonna shut off my heat press because again, like I said, am done with it now pretty much. So we're gonna take that off, and I got this a really cool thing. Forgot about this to pull this out before we started. Let's see if I can find it. Oh no. I do this to myself almost every video. I was all excited I'm live and I'm still new to this, so I forgot to grab my sander. I will be right back in 2 seconds. It should be behind me in my drawer. There it is. So I ordered this off of Temu as well. It is a little finger hand sanitizer. So the interesting part is these are my favorites. These have been my favorites forever. They even sell the handles at Dollar Tree now that everything is getting back in stock. They're just the square sanding blocks. But I like the feel of this and I like the hold of this. It's a foam and it's comfortable and easy. So I got this off of Temu with my last order. I ordered these by accident first, the strips, and then I got this afterwards because when I ordered these, I thought it was the whole set and it wasn't. And that was shame on me for not reading. So now I'm just gonna take my coaster and I'm gonna lightly sand it down. I'm actually gonna pull this out of the way so I don't put a whole bunch of stuff all over it like I just started to do because I don't need my heat mat getting all nasty. And just gently sand it down, and this works great. This is a low grit one. I don't know what my grit is on this. I didn't pay that much attention. And you're just gonna sand off your edges, nice and gently. You wanna go down motion, okay? Go down. Look at how gentle and nice and easy that is. My corners are looking good. Got a little bit of, yeah, my corners are looking good. This is great, and it's coming out so nicely. And I hear people all the time when they see these in my home or when I sell them, they're amazed that they're napkins because I do try to be very careful with what I'm doing and how I do it. I've got a little bit of glue or something right here on the actual edge. There we go. Gently, be gentle, please. This is not a time to rush or be impatient. Gentle and smooth, okay? And look at that, all gone. That's all my extra stuff. And then you can go at an angle a little bit, but you never want to go like this. Do not go like that or you will rip your napkin to pieces, to shreds, okay? And and then you're gonna wipe off all your excess, and that is how beautiful it is. I'm just trying to see if so I didn't get, you gotta be really careful. This is why to go back over them. It's pulled up a little bit. It's not gonna make a difference because nobody's gonna notice the edging like that, but I do to the naked eye. You can see that it pulled up just a teeny bit on the yellow, if you know, right there. So you need to be careful, make sure everything is adhered well. That's why I said it's great if you let them cool all over again, and then you can kind of go back up and pull off your edges a little bit to make sure it's all good. It looks like everything else is great. And it's beautiful and nice and flat. So now what I would do with this is, once it's fully cooled off, I'm gonna go back over it with Mod Podge. I'll come back to that step on another video. And that is my coaster with my napkin on it. I'm gonna take a little piece of this corner right here and fix that other corner probably after we take off the napkin. I'll probably take a little piece of this green and fix the corner on the one that's broken. So what I'll do is I'm gonna let my coasters cool completely so that I can make sure that they are adhered properly. And then I'll come back and do part 3 and how to seal your coasters, how to Mod Podge right back over those. I could do this one actually, but I'd like to do them all at once so that I know what step process I'm in. So, and that is how to attach them. How beautiful. Super excited. Hope you have a great day. I will be back later on or tomorrow to do the next step with you. Have a great day. Thank you for coming. Please subscribe, share if you like this video.